Have you ever noticed how some people keep making the same mistakes year after year, while others seem to grow stronger, wiser, and more successful with every season of their lives? Think about that for a moment. The difference is not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not where they were born. It's not who their parents were. The difference is that some people learn life's lessons, and some people keep paying the same price over and over again because they refuse to learn them. And today we're talking about 70 life lessons to learn once that will improve your life forever. Not for a week, not for a month, forever. Because there are lessons that, once they truly sink into your heart, change the way you think, the way you act, the way you respond to problems, and the way you see yourself. And if you stay with me until the end, you're going to walk away with a completely different perspective on your life. You're going to discover why you've been stuck in certain areas, why some dreams haven't happened yet, and most importantly, what you can start doing today to move in a new direction. So don't just listen. Listen with the intention to change. Listen with the intention to grow. Listen with the intention to become the person you were meant to be. Because one lesson can change a day, but the right lesson can change a life. I want to tell you about someone, maybe someone like you. This person had dreams, big dreams, the kind of dreams that kept them awake at night, the kind of dreams that made their heart beat faster whenever they thought about the future. But there was a problem. Every year looked exactly like the year before. Same excuses, same fears, same doubts, same frustration. They wanted more money, but they never changed their habits. They wanted confidence. But they kept listening to the voice in their head that told them they weren't enough. They wanted success, but they were waiting for the perfect moment. You know that feeling, don't you? That feeling of knowing you're capable of more, but somehow staying exactly where you are. It's painful, because deep down you know you're meant for something greater. You know you have more inside of you, but every day starts looking like the day before. Weeks become months, months become years, and suddenly you wake up wondering where all the time went. One night this person sat alone, no distractions, no television, no phone, just silence. And for the first time in a long time, they asked themselves a hard question. What if the problem isn't my circumstances? What if the problem is what I refuse to learn? That question changed everything, because growth begins when excuses end. Read that again in your mind. Growth begins when excuses end. The first lesson they learned was simple. Life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you repeatedly work for. That's hard for some people to hear, because wishing is easier than working. Talking is easier than doing. Planning is easier than executing. But your future doesn't care about your intentions. Your future responds to your actions. Be honest. How many times have you said you're going to start tomorrow? How many times have you promised yourself that this week will be different? How many times have you waited for motivation before taking action? The truth is that action creates motivation far more often than motivation creates action. You don't wait until you feel confident. You act and confidence grows. You don't wait until you're fearless. You move and courage appears. You don't wait until conditions are perfect. You begin and clarity follows. That's a life lesson many people spend decades learning. Another lesson hit even harder. Not everyone is supposed to understand your vision. Some people spend their entire lives trying to get approval from people who have never built anything themselves. They want permission. They want validation. They want everyone to agree with their dreams. But greatness has never required unanimous approval. Sometimes the people closest to you won't understand where you're going, not because they hate you, because they can only see life through their own experiences. And if they never dream big, your dream may look impossible to them. You cannot allow someone else's limitations to become your reality. You have to believe before the evidence appears. You have to continue before the applause comes. You have to keep going when nobody is cheering, because eventually results become your introduction. Another lesson changed everything. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Most people run from failure. Successful people learn from it. Think about that. Every mistake contains information. Every setback contains instruction. Every disappointment contains a lesson. The question is not whether you'll fail. The question is whether you'll learn. Some people fail and quit. Others fail and grow. And the difference between those two people determines their future. If you're still here listening to this, type "I'm still here" in the comments. Because we're not talking about motivation that lasts 10 minutes. We're talking about wisdom that can transform the rest of your life. Here's another lesson. Your environment matters more than you think. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, negativity becomes normal. If you're constantly surrounded by excuses, excuses become normal. If you're constantly surrounded by people who settle, settling becomes normal. Pay attention to what you're exposing your mind to every day. Pay attention to the conversations you have. Pay attention to the voices you listen to. Because little by little, your environment is shaping your future. The strongest person in the world will struggle in the wrong environment. And an average person can achieve extraordinary things in the right one. Another lesson many people learn too late is this: time is more valuable than money. You can lose money and earn it back. You cannot lose time and earn it back. Every day you wake up, you receive a gift. 24 hours, no more, no less. The wealthy get 24, the poor get 24. The successful get 24. The struggling get 24. The difference is how they use them. Every day you delay your dream, you're spending something you'll never get back. Every day you postpone your growth, you're paying with your life. That's why urgency matters. Not panic, not stress, urgency. The understanding that your future is being built right now. Not next year, not someday, today. Pause for a second and ask yourself, are you becoming the person your dreams require? Or are you simply hoping things somehow change? Because hope without action is just a wish, and wishes don't build extraordinary lives. Disciplined actions do. Another lesson that changed everything was realizing that nobody is coming to save you. Not a perfect opportunity, not a perfect relationship, not a miracle phone call, not a perfect moment. At some point, you must become the rescue you've been waiting for. That's when power returns to your hands. That's when your life begins to change. The moment you stop waiting and start building. The moment you stop blaming and start taking responsibility. The moment you stop looking outward and start looking inward. Everything changes when you decide that your future is your responsibility. Not your parents, not your bosses, not society's, yours. And that realization is both frightening and liberating. Because if you're responsible, then you're also powerful. And if you're powerful, then change becomes possible. If you really want to change your life, write "I'm ready" below. Not for me, for yourself. Because there comes a moment when talking about change is no longer enough. You have to decide. You have to commit. You have to move. And that's where transformation begins.